Hi there, and thanks for tuning in. This is going to be your Chapter 4 test review for Math 7, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Number 1 has an open circle pointing to the right, so the inequality represented here can be x is greater than negative 1. Number 2, we've got a closed circle above the negative 2 pointing to the left, so that's going to be x is less than or equal to 2. Remember, your less than or equal to symbols have a closed circle. One points to the left for less than, one points to the right for greater than, and then your open circle is going to be either the less than or the greater than sign. Those are just some things to keep in mind. Number 3, you're writing all of these as words, and it says as an inequality, m minus 3 is more than, so that means greater than, negative 4. Remember to go back and study these words from lesson 4.1 to help you remember what to do there. Number 4, 16 times the number j is no less than negative 2. So remember your problems, maybe my jeans cost no less than $35. That means they cost $35 or more, so that means greater than or equal to negative 2. Number 5, twice the number q, 2q, minus 1 is less than 5. That should have been easy. Your less than symbol was explained to you right there in that equation. Number 6, a number a divided by 2 is no more than 6. No more than 6 means less than or equal to 6. My jeans cost no more than $25, so that means $25 or below. To pass the test, you must score at least 60 on the test. Maybe you can make up your own letter here. T is greater than or equal to 60. At least means greater than or equal to. Number 8, the maximum cost is $35, so that would be cost is less than or equal to 35. We can go up to 35, but we can't go over it, and we sure need to be below it. 9 and 10 just tell what it says, tell whether the given value is a solution of the inequality. You can do a number of things here. An easy way is just to plug in the values they give you where the letter is. So it says j plus 1 is less than 10 if j is equal to 9. So if we just plug in 9 where j is, we have 9 plus 1 is less than 10. 9 plus 1 is 10, and 10 is not less than 10. So this answer for number 9 would be no. That given value is not a solution. For number 10, we're going to plug in the number 10 where we see m. So we're going to do 4 times 10 minus 6 is greater than or equal to 30. I know 4 times 10 is 40. And then 40 minus 6 is 34. So 34 is greater than or equal to 30. So this answer would be yes for number 10. 11 says the video game gives you 100 seconds to complete the level. So that would be less than or equal to. You can spend 100 seconds or lower. You are halfway through the level after 55 seconds. So you've already spent 55 seconds. Write and solve an inequality to find out how much time you have left to complete the level. Well, we know that we've already spent 55, so we would probably say x plus 55 would be less than or equal to 100. Another way you can think about this, you know that you have to probably subtract to solve it. So if I have to use subtraction to solve it, I'm going to use addition to show it in my original inequality. So that being said, here's your part 1. That's your inequality, and then part 2 is solving. So yes, I am going to subtract 55 from 100. I've got to borrow here. You're essentially going to be getting 45. So x is less than or equal to 45. So both of these is what you have to have for your question in number 11. Number 12, you and 5 friends, that means 6 people, are trying to plan a trip, and you want to keep the cost below $85 per person, below $85 per person. Write and solve an inequality that represents the total cost of the trip. Well, if you know that 6 people are going, and each person wants to pay less than 85, I know I'm going to have to do 85 times 6. So if I have to show multiplication right now to figure out how much the trip is going to cost, which let's go ahead and solve that. Looks like $510. I know that I need to multiply to solve it, so I need to show division here. So cost divided by 6 people is going to be less than 85, or C over 6 is less than 85. Okay, that's your writing part, and then solving part, you're just multiplying by 6. So C is less than $510. Okay, so again, just think of what you would probably need to do to solve it, and then use the opposite operation in the inequality that you have to show. Okay? Let's go on over to the next page. We have number 13. Solve the inequality, and it's also got a nice graph there for you. So I'm going to subtract because I see addition. I'm going to get b is greater than -1. So I've got an open circle pointing to the right. For number 14, I am probably going to switch this around first. I'm going to say x minus 4 less than or equal to -3. Again, the alligator is eating the same number here and here. The alligator needs to eat the -3. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Got to be careful here because I've got a -3 and a +4. X is less than or equal to +1. So that is closed circle pointing to the left. If you didn't graph the correct way, you didn't switch your inequality symbol. So you need to remember to switch your symbol anytime you rewrite the inequality with x on the left-hand side. 15, we're going to divide. Notice when we are dividing, though, we're dividing by -7. So that means we have to flip our inequality sign here to be greater than or equal to. So C is greater than or equal to -5. On my number line, I've got a closed circle pointing to the right. Again, if you did a closed circle pointing to the left, you just forgot to flip your inequality symbol because you're dividing by a negative number. That needs to happen. Again, here for number 16, it looks like we're going to have to multiply by a negative number. And anytime you multiply by a negative number, you have to flip this inequality symbol so that greater than changes to less than. So P is less than 15. On my graph, I've got an open circle pointing to the left. Again, if you did not flip your inequality symbol, you had an open circle pointing to the right. Gotta remember to flip those. Number 17 moves into our word problems. Write and solve an inequality that represents the value of x. So it says the perimeter of the rectangle is at least 12. Remember, perimeter is adding all the sides. So I would add x plus x and 3 plus 3. And then at least means greater than or equal to 12. I'm going to combine some like terms. So I've got 2x plus 6 greater than or equal to 12. And then now I just have to solve for x. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. This is kind of like what we talked about in chapter 3 with our two-step equations. Undo adding and subtracting first. I get 2x is greater than or equal to 6. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 2 so that x is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, so that would need, here's your first step right here, writing the inequality, and second step would be solving it. Number 18, the base is less than the height. This is the base, and this is the height. So all you have to do is write the base, which is x plus 9, and then less than squished L, and then the height, which is 19. There I am writing it. Now I'm going to solve it. I'm going to solve it by subtracting 9, so that x is less than 10. Okay. The last two are word problems. A music teacher budgets $150. Remember we talked about budgeting needs to be less than or equal to. She can spend up to $150, but no more than that. The cost of a new book is $12. To write and solve an inequality to find out how many books she can buy. I know that I'm going to be buying 12 books for I know I'm going to be buying books that are $12 a piece. So 12 times the number of books, I'm going to say 12 times b should be less than or equal to 150. That's my writing part, and then I'm going to solve it by dividing 12. So b would be less than or equal to, I think this gives you 12.5. 12 does not go into 150 evenly. So yes, after you divide 150 by 12, you get 12.5, but she can't buy 12.5 books, so you would need to just write an additional note. She can buy 12 books, or she can buy up to 12 books. Okay? Last one, number 20, your current checking account is $420. The minimum balance is $160, so write and solve an inequality that represents how much money you can withdraw from the account without going below the minimum balance. This is kind of similar to that question we had on homework one time. So it says we're starting off with $420. And let's just think about what happens if we subtract 160. We get $260. So that means we could spend $260. That means X needs to be less than or equal to $260. Okay? How did we get there? Well, we knew that we subtracted, so maybe we can show X plus that 160 is less than or equal to $420. Okay, so notice I'm working backwards here because it's a little bit harder to write this inequality if you're trying to work forwards. So that means X, whatever X is, plus 160 needs to be less than or equal to $420. And when we subtract the 160, which is what we just did here on the side, that's how we got the X is less than or equal to 260. Okay, so working backwards there might be a little bit beneficial. Sometimes it's hard for me to understand that as well. That's going to conclude your review. So just make sure that you have all the answers that you need, and go on our class website to practice our test. Have a great day and good luck on your test.